Hello my followers. I am Dr. Aristarch Muganga, coming back in educational videos about the menstrual cycle. Today I am talking about ovulation. What is ovulation? When does it happen? How can you know you have ovulated? Before we continue, please remember to subscribe for more videos if you are interested. So, what is ovulation? Ovulation is the release of a mature egg from one of your ovaries. That time when the egg is dropped in entrance of the fallopian tube. This is the time that the egg can be fertilized by a sperm if they meet each other, and you get pregnant. Why do you need to know the time of your ovulation? Because ovulation is the time you can get pregnant. There are two main reasons. One, if you really want to get pregnant, this is the exact time of trying it. You need to know if you really do get ovulations, or if you do not have one, meaning you may be infertile. 2, if you are avoiding unwanted pregnancy, you need to know the exact time of not having sex. You will need to avoid sex during the period around your ovulation time. Ovulation typically lasts 1 day, that exact day of releasing the egg. But what we call ovulation period is a 1-week period around your ovulation day and occurs in the middle of a woman's menstrual cycle, about 2 weeks before she expects to get her period. Ovulation periods start early before your ovulation day, approximately 5 days before the ovulation day. This is because when you have sex, the sperms can survive for around 4 days, waiting for the egg to be released. When the egg is released, it also can survive for 2 to 3 days. This means that 3 days after the ovulation day, you are still in your ovulation period. The period around your ovulation day, starting 5 days before and extending 3 days after, is your fertile period, your unsafe days. However, people are different and your body is different from someone else's body. So, you have to get to know your own body, your own exact ovulation time. Let me now give you 6 signs that you are ovulating. First sign is, cervical mucus changes. Right after your periods, the cervical mucus or secretions are usually dry, and during the following few days, it changes from sticky and thick in the days following periods to watery, as you get close to your ovulation. Actually, you have the most mucus right before ovulation, and the mucus is clear, slippery, with the same consistency and look like raw egg whites, and it be stretched between your fingers. If you notice that mucus pattern, know that your ovulation is ahead, you are in your fertile days. So, how do you measure it? You have to wash your fingers first, then just kindly insert your finger deep into your vag. And after removing it, try to make it slip between your fingers and observe the color and consistency of your mucus. If it is clear, stretchy, you are just at your ovulation day. The second sign is ovulation pain. Most girls experience a lower, unilateral abdominal pain that happens toward the middle of their cycle, almost 2 weeks before the next periods. This pain is localized, unilateral, on one side of the abdomen, sharp or dull cramping pain, usually not severe, lasting for few hours to 1 day. If you feel this kind of pain, just know that you have ovulated, and this is the ovary that released your egg that is hurting you. The pain will usually come with the other alarms of ovulation that we have stated above. The third sign is sore nipples. Again, some girls will notice that their breast is tender on touch, and this will happen only all along the second half of their menstrual cycle. This is triggered by the hormones released by your body after ovulation. Typically the tenderness remains until the onset of the next periods. Start now to get used to notice the time that your breast starts to be tender. This is your ovulation time. The fourth sign is increased sexual desire. Many women will tell you that their sex drive is stronger at certain times of the month. Those tracking their monthly cycles will likely discover that these urges increase right before ovulation. Nature wants you to get pregnant, that's why the hormones that increases at the time of ovulation also boost your libido somehow. So, pay attention, because this period when you feel more pushed to have sex, with little control of yourself, is probably the right time you will get an unwanted pregnancy. If you feel more aroused than usual, check along all those other signs I told you and know if you are in your unsafe days. These 4 signs require nothing more than just examining yourself, The two remaining signs that I am going to talk about, however, require commitment and some simple calculations and some tools. Sign 5. Sustained basal body temperature rise. Basal body temperature is measured using a thermometer. It is better to measure your body temperature every morning when you get up, but before doing any other activity. You will have to keep your thermometer where you can reach, without moving around when you get up. That is because any movement can affect your body temperature, and sometimes gives you a false rise in your basal body temperature. This will give you more accurate measurements. Then you put the thermometer in your mouth and record the temperature on a specific basal boy temperature sheet, or just plot your own table and write down the measurement every day. You will notice that your body temperature goes down a bit just before your ovulation, and then 24 hours after the egg is released, your temperature peaks and stays up for several days. The normal temperature is somewhere between 36.1 and 36.4 degrees centigrade before your ovulation day, and will range somewhere between 36.5 and 37.0 degrees centigrade after ovulation. If you get 3 consecutive measurement of a temperature higher than 36.5 degrees centigrade, know that your ovulation has occurred. Sign 6. Ovulation tests. There exists some tests that measure the hormone that triggers ovulation called LH, luteinizing hormone. The tests are available in some pharmacies under different brand names such as Primatime, and some others. They usually consist of a kit of 5 tests that you will start using 3 days before your expected ovulation day. Remember that your expected ovulation day is expected to be 14 days before your next expected periods. And if you are irregular, you can use more than 5 tests because you are not sure of which day ovulation will occur. You have to use 1 test every day, 4 consecutive days, using your urine sample, the same way as you do a pregnancy test. If you find a negative test, you will have to repeat the next day until you get a positive one. A positive test is obtained when the LH starts to rise, and if you get it, you know that your ovulation will occur in the next 24 hours. If you plan to get pregnant, you now know the right time. If you just want to know your cycle, note that day and count the days remaining from ovulation day to the onset of next periods, keeping in mind that the second part of your menstrual cycle is constant. The period is usually 14 days, but it can be 13, 12, 16, depending on the person. And the only way to know what applies to you, is to gather all those ovulation signs we stated and know your specific ovulation day. Here are the 6 signs of ovulations. I encourage our young African girls to get to know themselves. Know your cycle, know your exact ovulation day by tracking those signs I told you. Know your safe and unsafe days, and we will finally be able to avoid unwanted pregnancies. Just remember to subscribe for more of my videos. I am Dr. Aristark Muganga.